Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to take a look at the White Nights St. Petersburg pastel set of watercolors. So I had done this in my watercolor haul and quite a few of you had said you wanted to see me swatch them. So I thought, well, hey, let's get to it because I'm like itching to play with these. So first of all, it comes in this plastic case. Most of White Nights are in plastic and not metal, but there's no problem with that because less rust. But so when you pop it open, you've got some mixing wells here, and then the paints kind of angle downward. So it's kind of interesting, if you can see there how it would be. And then here are the 12 pastel colors. Now these are full pans, by the way, not half pans. Oh, they're not gonna come out. One second. All right, power of the X-Acto knife. Okay, so like I said, this is a full pan as opposed to, do I have a half pan nearby? Okay, half pan, full pan. See the difference there? So that's what makes these really nice. You're getting a ton of paint here. So it looks like they even have the name on one side. Let me zoom you guys in though so you can see that. Okay. I was gonna see if they had, oh, yep, they do. Okay, so they have the pigment info. Oops, pigment info. They have the opacity. And then this is peach. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'll be unwrapping each one of these. I doubt this info is on the inside of the tray. They unwrap really easily though, so that's nice. It just says number 256. I'm just trying to see if that will coordinate. I do see 256 here, but I'm hoping that's the color number. I honestly don't use White Nights. This is my first White Nights set, so I'm pretty new to that. It does come with a little swatch card, if you want to call it that. I may use this and just write down the color names, but I am going to also put them in my sketchbook. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna unwrap all of these bad boys, write down the info, and then we can get to swatching. Okay, so I have finally unwrapped all of these pastel colors. They're really pretty. It's like a little candy box. One thing I noticed though when I was trying to unwrap them and get them back in here is this case is kind of awkward. Like, I understand it's leaning like this because of the way it's shaped, but like when you're pressing down, it does that. So watch your fingers, people. We do have the mixing wells, but I'm not going to be using those today. I did fill out the card as well, but I'll just swatch that on my own because I have the swatches ready to go here. This is just my Fabriano sketchbook that I use for swatching. Nothing fancy, it's not even 100% cotton, but I just think it's pretty easy for keeping all my swatches in one neat little place, and it's affordable because you have a lot of swatches and you don't want to go like using your Arches watercolor paper. I may, after this one runs out, try Canson, we'll see. Okay, so one thing I wanted to note before I started swatching away here is you will notice that I think every single one has PW6. Yep, every single one has PW6, so titanium white. Keep that in mind. You know, most pastel colors are saturated with white, but still you always want to know what you're working with. So I am going to wet these. I'm going to try just using my little spritz bottle. I'll get them wet and then I'll do a quick little swatch so you guys can check these out. Okay, so they re-wet actually pretty quickly, not too shabby. Today I'm just using a number 8 Princeton Aqua Elite. I bought these not too long ago to try out. I noticed the tips are longer than the Princeton Neptune range, so just FYI on that. But let's get swatching. Okay, so we are on to peach. Now, I have a feeling these are not going to be very transparent. They're going to have a lot more opacity to them. because of that lovely PW6. But you never know. PW6 is at the end, which means that is the last pigment added, so maybe they didn't add a ton. I do have a lot of water on this brush, and it is an Aqua Elite, so it's meant to hold water, but let's just see how it goes. And I am purposely going outside of the lines because I want to see if the lines pop back up. And it's fun to be messy. Who wants to watercolor in the lines? I sure don't. Ooh, look at that color. That's a nice one. I like that coral. Now I do have my brush pretty wet. I'm just rinsing it off, and I'm not even dabbing it. I want a lot of water on there because I tend to go in, I paint wet on dry about 80% of the time. And so I like to have a lot of water on my brush and kind of go from there. I love that mint color. I knew I would. Anything in that tealish minty range I'm gonna like. But yeah, these re-wet really nice with just a spritz. I didn't even use a pipette. You can see, I'll show you my cup after we swatch how much white is in these though, because basically my rinse cup is white. That's when you know white has been added. Now this one, Dunes, look at all those colors up in there. This is one mixy. I think only one actually starts with PW6. Yeah, it's the Celestial Blue down here. Okay, now we are on to Pink Peony. These are absolutely perfect for Easter. Look, I got the nails to match. Okay, here's the one that starts with the white and then has PB15-3. Of course, we want to wait till these dry completely because a paint will look opaque. This is Moringo. And then once it dries, that's when you'll start to see the line. Because see, when I put this one down, that line wasn't there. And then, of course, as we let them continue to dry, they're still very wet. You're going to see the lines pop up more, and that helps you with transparency. But real fast, I will show you. Look at that. It's basically milk right now. All that's rinsing off is not even these other pigments. It's the white. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pause, let these dry, and then we'll come back and take a look once they're fully dry. So I will be back. Okay, so we have dried off, and here are the dried White Nights pastel set. Okay, so everything is fairly, I mean, it's pretty translucent. Moringo is pretty opaque. Celestial Blue is opaque, but I mean, PW6 was the first one in there. But I mean, they're a lot more transparent than you would think, and they're not chalky. That's my biggest thing with pastel watercolors. Are they going to be chalky, especially when you've got that white mixed in? But they're not too bad. I mean, are these going to be very translucent when you're painting with them? No, because of all that white. And like I said, look at my rinse cup. So just for fun, I grabbed my Prima Marketing Pastel Dreams set. This is a full set of also 12 pastel colors. Now, one thing that is pretty interesting with these bad boys, and let me zoom you in gently so no one gets dizzy, is these don't have a lot of white. In fact, I'm trying to look real quick. Yeah, some of these are single pigment. Like we got PB27 right here. So they made their pastel set using mixes, of course, although they do have a lot of single pigment. I mean, we have a PY83 here, PY3. They do offer like the, you know, a brown color, but theirs is made with different options, and I would not really call these pastel, but their crimson, for example, you know, match that up with coral. Coral has PR242 and titanium white, whereas their crimson, they ended up just adding P013 and PR112, so no white in there. These are very smooth, definitely not chalky. You're not going to get that white milky rinse water either because they're not overloading it with white. So that's something to consider here. Because I mean, you can make your own pastel set, easy peasy, right? But I am also a big supporter of convenience mixes. Why? Because I don't feel like mixing sometimes. Can you make all of these colors here? Absolutely. Go buy tubes of any brand you like in those similar colors, mix away. And it's all about the proportions, because you'll notice these two, rose and crimson, are actually made with the same pigments. It's just all about proportion. So that I'll save for another video, the fun of mixing, which it is fun to experiment, don't get me wrong, but you could literally make a pastel set with white just by getting a good, decent white and mixing it into any color you want. Essentially, you can mix it with a single pigment or multiple pigments. Say you got a favorite color and you want to make it pastel, you can mix it with white. Although the better option is to just add more water and lighten the color down to get that pastel versus adding the white. That said, if you want a genuine pastel set, like I have my Hannah Carlson book where I'm doing nothing but pastels, this would be kind of nice for painting backgrounds and whatnot, because it is the pastel set. It is going to be a little bit more opaque. I mean, see this green here? We've got some lines barely coming through, but it would be fun for some backgrounds to use this in and have that genuine pastel feel, you know? White definitely adds that feel. So that's just one thing I want you to know and keep in mind. Now, I already knew this set had a ton of white before I bought it. I had looked at the back of the box on Amazon. Thank you, Amazon, for showing that. And I had instantly seen PW6 in every single one. That said, I wanted to try them out, show you guys what it is you get for your money if you do go with this set, and just my thoughts on it. If you were to ask me, would I go with Pastel Dreams or White Nights Pastel? I'd probably go with the Pastel Dreams from Prima Marketing, only because they're not oversaturated with white. Is this a bad set though? No, not by any means. This is still going to be fun to play with, and I'm still going to use it. So, just something to keep in mind there. All right, everyone, thank you so much for hanging out with me while we swatched my new goodies. And if you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below. And until next time, take care. Bye now.